Hello, my name is Sergio Patricio and this is Ko. Ko is a concept in Mapundungun, Mapuche's language, and it means water. Mapuche people are native in the southern regions of Chile and Argentina, and they have a rich cultural heritage and a deep connection to their ancestral lands and natural resources, including rivers and water. Mapuche people traditionally believes in the spirits of water, known as Ñamku or Ñuman, which are guardians spirits associated with lakes, rivers, and other water sources. To gain more in-depth understanding to their culture and their relations to water, please visit José Bengoa, who has written extensively on indigenous issues in Chile, as well as Mariela Basakelopo, anthropologist whose research has focused on Mapuche shamanism and spirituality. Rivers, in particular, play a significant role in Mapuche territory. They often use the term Butal Mapu to refer to the territory, with Butal meaning between and Mapu meaning land. In Mapundungun, Butal Mapu signifies the land in between. This concept and idea in between and the connection inspired Ko as a reflection to attempt a classification of some practices related to body, time, and fluid art practices. On the other hand, water as a metaphor or symbol can be used to represent divisions or connections among people. Water as unity symbol, flow, and interconnectedness. Ko attempts to divide waters in the current context of performance art in Austria, Vienna specifically, especially now in an environmental emergency plus war, resource scarcity, environmental displacement, for example, multi-time in a rough context where divisions and radical positions make art practitioners to isolate themselves or collaborate. To understand briefly the history of time-based media category performance art, we have to keep in mind these exponents: Abramovic Ulay, Vito Acconci, Bruce Neumann, Jochen Gertz, Valie Export, Peter Weibel, and Sanja Ivekovic, and try to understand the nature of these practices based anytime, anywhere, in personal experience and social situations. No rehearsals, deliveries alone in front of a video camera, using the private space as a subject to private surveillance, a collective body propagated by the history of images and by the visual medium. To understand what happens today in the Austrian scene, it is crucial to take into account the 3 decades of evolution of performative practices. The category last 3 decades of Austrian performance artists must include Hermann Inch, controversial and provocative ritualistic and violent actions, a key figure in the Viennese actionism. Valie Export challenges traditional gender roles and explored the female body representation. Otto Mühl has intense and often shocking extreme actions. Günter Bruce, Viennese actionism founder, pushed the boundaries of the human body endurance. Dorit Margreiter, architecture, urban spaces, and the body. In the last 2 decades, some artists I recognize are Philipp Gelmacher, creates innovative and thought-provoking pieces. Katalin Erdodi, with immersive and multidisciplinary artwork about identity and social issues. Michikatsu Matsune challenges cultural norms and explores boundaries on human expression. Christina Laderhaus tackles topics like identity, gender, and societal norms. Julian Turner, an intersection of technology, politics, and digital human body. Sonnenberner, identity, transformation, and rituals with participatory elements. Therefore, which ones do I pick as a new generation of Austrian performance artists? Austria specifically is noticed by a diversity of styles and approaches in performance art. Viennese actionism had a profound impact and development on this art form. Even if this article proposes a territory divided by water, it's important to switch to the idea that it's a sea with currents, because the performance arts territory itself is fluid. Whatever my 3 pick artists in Vienna are the duo DORIAN Bonelli and Frederic Marroquin. Bonelli explained experiments with transformation, shape-shifting, blank space, and communication processes, considering his transsexuality as a messenger job between the genders. Marroquin explained, on the other side, that between the transitions between everyday life and artistic exploration is fluid, and he used the resistance as a material on an equal footing with objects and drawing. Is Barbie's Rudel. Lona Galkis, the philosopher, points out the connections between the subject and the economy based on the Barbie's Rudy's work. The artistic starting material is her body, which she repeatedly placed in a field of attentions between emancipation and capitalism. The third pick are Larissa Kopp and Florian ASCHKA. Elizabeth Preidel says about the query in the Natural Historisches Museum, for example, that means taking a different and diverse above all non-heteronormative looks at the artworks in the museum. It means questioning a traditional order and the operating system of art, including the people involved. My selection criteria was creating a subcategory called action art, when many other artists could not fit into this classification box. Anyways, I recommend visiting the art practices outcomes from Doris Ulrich, Sonny Falza, Lau Lucarilla, and Luca Bonamore. Time-space media art category, performance art subcategory, action art, define what fluid practice is detected on the three artists picked. The seawater was divided into three currents, leitmotifs, that I observed as a path. 1. Concrete path. The politics of actions as a leitmotif, where actions are more abstract, meaning sense into the concepts, narratives left behind to empower concrete physical demands. And the second is the endorsement of discourse, the politic of affection as a leitmotif, where diplomacy, economy, and laws affect the narratives of actions and their representation. And the third is the cause-effect path, the politics of messages as a leitmotif, where the effect that produce the action is the access instead of the physical material, compositions directed to make an effect on the audience. The artists were also selected by the criteria of sustainable artists in terms of using recycled materials, producing the art in the community, and pushing borders about sharing resources. The three of them are good examples of how possible it is to make sustainable performance art nowadays and for the next decades. How to make performance art sustainable even better then. Sustainability in performance art can refer for both environmental sustainability and sustainability of artist practice itself. From my perspective is to build a supportive network within the performance art community. Collaborating with other artists, sharing resources, and community support can be essential for a long-term sustainability. How to observe a possible application of a long-term sustainability solution to a water crisis. The water crisis is a pressing global issue. Water crisis is about how one of the most expensive elements on Earth is getting into a problem related to territories, distribution of wealth policies, and climate change. Water scarcity is often exacerbated by unequal distribution. So, according to the World Health Organization, around 2.2 billion people lack access to safe managed drinking water services. So then, in my opinion, movement-based media art practices are the first bodies to connect with the environment. Artists can use movement as a medium to raise awareness, provoke dialogue, and advocate for change. So how movement-based practitioners can address the water crisis or any other environmental issue? There's a deep connection between the fluidity of water and the fluidity of human body movements-based art. The concept of the fluid, adaptable, and expressive resonate with the essence of movement itself. That's why performance art and actions are usually returned to the body. It would help to translate and transfer the fluid movement of awareness about these issues. Sleeping and Ambady says, for example, the bodily movement can influence cognitive processing, with the fluid movement leading to fluid thinking. The urgent need for sustainable water and a long-term solutions is to address the growing challenges and community worldwide. International cooperation is crucial. and sustainable practice are really increasingly to address the interconnected crisis and work toward a more stable and sustainable future. Thank you.